What's up, everybody? This is John with Archer Film. All right, I have not seen many great movies or anything really worth talking about until now. I am going to do one battle after another. I just needed time to think about that one. The same with Eddington. But this one, I was looking forward to ever since I saw the trailer. What an ingenious concept. A horror movie told through the eyes of the dog. Now, we've seen dogs in plenty of horror movies. Specifically, Poltergeist was the first one that really stood out to me. And there have been stories that are told through the eyes of the dog. There was a Dean Koontz novel, I forget which one it was, but he did a really good job sort of, telling the story through the thoughts of the dog, which I thought was very unique. But in this movie, it's a horror movie told specifically through the dog's point of view, including its senses, including its dreams, and its sort of perspective of its owner. And it is brilliant. So this was a DIY project from the filmmaker, and it was his dog, his house, and his wife helped him shoot it over the course of 3 years, apparently like 400 days. And that was basically so they could shoot for an hour or so a day with the dog and get the responses and reactions that they wanted. Now, as a concept, it is brilliant. The dog is incredible, very photogenic, there's just a great look. The filmmaker said that the dog kind of always looks serious anyway, so that's a really good start because it does. It looks like it's pensive and thinking and looking around corners and things like that, and it's outstanding. It's really well done. Now, it does get a little tedious. I feel like the filmmakers could have tweaked the plot a little bit and had a little bit more human interaction in the last third of the movie. The dog looking at scary stuff is really effective for a long time, but after about an hour of that, you're just kind of like, all right, like move the story along. It became repetitive, and then some of the plot stuff towards the end was very confusing. Like I didn't really know what was happening. Was it in the dog's mind? Was it a dream? Was it's just its perspective and it was a little confused itself? That's definitely a possibility, but there was something that didn't quite click towards the end. Now, the ending, there's a lot of meaning that can be imbued from the ending. And I did like the ending. I just felt that when you're dealing with the human's bond with an animal and how strong a bond that is, that he could have tapped into something a little bit more universal, something that we all would have recognized. It was like on the tip of my brain as the movie was unfolding, and then it just didn't quite go there. But again, it's still good, and my only knock would be it did seem a little tedious after a while, the dog sort of reacting and everything around. The cool thing about this movie, like I said, they shot it themselves. They shot it on a Red Dragon camera with some lenses, and they shot it over the course of 3 years in their house. And at the end of the movie, you have to sit there because the filmmaker introduces his dog, Indy, and then he tells how he did it. And then there's some behind the scenes of like how they got the dog's attention, how they got certain shots in the movie. And for me, that stuff is priceless. So cool to see. Like I said, ingenious concept. I love a do-it-yourself horror film. That's my favorite sort of thing, just like the original Terrifier. So anyway, check out Good Boy. It really is fantastic, and I'll see you in the next video.